Michelle from A Noble Touch, and I'm going to show you today how to do a patriotic flag out of deco mesh. Now I filmed this earlier, so I'm just adding this in now. The first few minutes is kind of blurry, but it does clear up after for the first few minutes, so bear with me through that. I hope you enjoy it. It's an idea I came up with last year, and I wanted to finally bring it to fruition on this grid and show you how to use something inexpensive like a plastic grid to make it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I have more YouTube videos that will be coming out, and hopefully you enjoy them all. Thank you.
Okay, these are the supplies we are going to need for this. This is just a navy 10-inch mesh. This is with some silver threading. This is I've already cut my mesh, so that's the end of the roll there. Then you're going to need a roll of the red and white deco mesh, striped, 10-inch as well. You can get these little balloon weights from a dollar store. I think I got these at Family Dollar. Some zip ties, or you can use fuzzy sticks, whatever your preference is. Then you're going to need your canvas grid. This is a 12 by 18 Doris canvas plastic grid. And this is also a poster board I get from the dollar store. And I use this, go ahead and trace. You're going to trace the poster board of your grid, because when you're said and done, you're going to attach the poster board to the back. Then you're going to need your wire cutters, scissors, razor blade, as well as your rotary cutter or your wood burner, whatever you use to cut your mesh. I prefer the wood burner as I get less fraying with that, but that's up to you. If you're going to use a wood burner, I would recommend wearing a mask because you do produce smoke when you cut the plastic. Okay, so we are going to cut some of our mesh. We're going to cut it 10 inches. I use the wood burner to cut my mesh. If you're going to use one, it does cause some smoking, so you might want to wear a mask when cutting. So this is, I'm going to cut 10 inches. So I always start at the 30 mark, 20 and 10 when I cut. If you're using a wood burner, please make sure that you have a glass to cover your mat so you don't melt or burn into anything. And then when you cut, make sure you go down the same grid line and just kind of pull apart as you cut so it doesn't stick back to itself, and it doesn't stick back and glue itself back or melt itself back to each other, if that makes sense. And then 10 inches. And just follow the grid line. If you follow the grid line, you'll get less fraying, because you can still get some fraying with cutting with the wood burner, but not as much as if you would with a rotary cutter or something else. And then you're just going to take it, pinch and gather. I think I'm going to do 6 bundles total. Put on top like that. And then take your stars that we cut off. Just kind of overlap them in there. And you know, that wire, it bends. And then a zip tie. Of course, I did not get any out. You can use a fuzzy stick for this as well. You don't have to use zip ties. It'll probably be easier when you're putting it into the grid, but some people I know the fuzzy sticks hurt their hands. The zip ties actually hurt my hands. And I guess it's just your preference on what you want to do. So we're going to get a couple more bundles cut and we're attaching to the grid. Okay, so we did 4 of these. We might have to do more, but right now I'm just trying for 4 of them. And we're just going to attach, I think we're going to attach them this way on the grid. So what we're going to do is take the zip tie and probably go in about 2 inches in, 2 inches over, or 2.5 maybe. Maybe we'll go right here. Or 3 inches, I'm sorry. And we're just going to slide the zip tie through the grid and back out. Like that. And we might as well do the other ones as well. Come a little bit further down here. Let's see. That's the whole. Now, I just came up with this idea. I haven't tried it yet, so this is the first time I'm trying it, and I thought, well, I'll try to videotape it. I added some more lights, so hopefully you guys can see a little bit better. Oh, I gotta go from the top. Might be hard to see because they're clear. And we'll go, I think right there. And pull through. So your zip ties are all ready. Now here you want to cut off your tails, your zip ties, and then you're going to push the zip tie through the other one, bring it down and into the locking mechanism. And just pull it tight. And if it's not positioned right, or if I need to add more, I'll go ahead and add more. So that's our first one. And then we'll do the second, same way. Push through. This is why I hate zip ties. I mean, they're good for some things, but it can be a pain in the butt other times. And then go through the locking mechanism. Can't see. Oh my word. Am I the only one that struggles with these things? So far we have the 2, and we're going to go ahead and put the other 2 on. We might add a couple more in here just to make it a little bit fuller. So we'll be right back. Okay, so I attached the 4. I'm thinking it needs a little bit more. So I said I was going to do a few extra. What I'm going to do though is probably, instead of putting another one in this way, we're going to grab our ruffle and put it, we'll split the, divide the mesh here. So we're going to put one here, but we're going to put it long ways. So it's going to go in like that to help fill in. So let me try to struggle with the zip tie again. Let's see. I'm just going to push it through, and I think this one, because I think it'll be easier for me, you know what, I got to go the opposite way, to just pull it and turn it over. So I don't know if I'm just pushing that through the grid. And then put it through there. Hold the mesh back. And then turn it over. Bring the zip tie through. Yeah, this is a lot easier than struggling on top with it. And is that backwards? No. And just pull tight. Now, if you wanted more support on this, you could probably attach dowels to the back of your grid so it's a little bit more sturdy. Okay, so that's 5 pieces. What do you think of that? And another idea I just thought about, you could also zip tie a string of lights to the grid, battery operated, and then attach the battery pack to the back, and so it would light up as well. Didn't think about that, but I don't think I have any, a small pack of lights to do that with, or else I'd show you how to do that as well. So we're going to leave that like this, and we're going to move on to the stripes on the flag. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to cut our stripe mesh every 10 inches. So we're going to do a 10 by 10 again. Again, you're going to, I cut it the 30, the 20, and the 10 line. So go down, keep it between the grid lines. Pull apart as you cut. And 10. So then we have our 10-inch pieces. Then of course what we're going to do is you're going to fold in one corner and then fold the other corner in. And then what I do is pinch. This is my flower petal, and you're going to twist and fold over. So I say this is the outer petal and this is the inner, meaning we don't want to see the back of the petal. We want to see the top of the petal. And then you can either use a zip tie to do this, or you can just use a fuzzy stick. Pull down. Just give it like a twist and a half. And then this is going to be the, stripe portion of our flag that we're going to be making. So again, I'm not sure how many we're going to need yet of the cuts because I'm making this up as I go along. And we'll see what the end final result looks like and go from there, and I'll let you know how many cuts exactly that we did. So that's what we want to keep doing. So we're going to cut up this mesh, and I would do, at least 20 cuts. I would think should be, might get us started anyway. Well, actually more than 20 if we're going to do the whole thing in this. Probably might as well go ahead and just cut up the roll. And so again, we're just cutting our mesh, follow the grid line. Don't jump the grid line. If you jump grid lines, you're going to get possible fraying with it. And if you overwork your mesh, you're probably going to get fraying with it as well. So you want to try to not overwork it. That's why I like to cut and fold. As soon as I cut, I fold them. That way I'm not messing with them so much. And again, you just do your fold, pinch, and twist over. Grab your fuzzy stick or your zip tie. And twist. So I'm excited to see how this turns out, because I've been thinking about this for a while, and a friend of mine said, just do it. So I wanted to get this done before 4th of July, so if anybody wanted to make one, they could. So we're just going to go ahead and keep cutting and folding our petals, and we'll be back. So I went ahead and cut a few of the red and white stripe mesh and folded them into the flower petal. And I'm going to go ahead and attach. And what I'm going to do is probably bring the first on the grid where I had marked it at the 8-inch points. I'm just going to take this and put that right up to that line. So it's going to be a little bit underneath the ruffles and pull through and attach. I think this is going to look really cute when it's all said and done. Like I said earlier, you could probably attach lights first to the grid, the little LED lights, and then do a battery pack and attach it to the back. That way, if you want it to light up, that'd look really cute too. Now this one, I'll probably come down a couple inches more and put that next to it. Pull through. That. So this is really a quick and easy type of wreath. It's a cute little patriotic wreath. Also, when we hang it, we might hang it in two, like make two hangers on the back for it, one on each side, because it is going to be rectangular. So what do you think? I think that's looking pretty cute. And do another one here. Make sure it doesn't flip. Keep those petals down. But it almost gives it a waving flag look with that striped mesh on there. It's kind of pretty. And again, if your grid starts to buckle and stuff, don't worry about it. Just keep working with it. And when we attach the poster board, we can straighten it out. Or you can take dowels and attach dowels, zip tie them to the back, just to give it a little bit more shape to it, a little bit sturdier shape. I love these grids, as you know. I've been using them for years. I attach them to all my frames, whether it's my beach frame or my, for my beach wreath or my flowers or horse heads. They come in so handy. So I'm just kind of going back and forth, going a couple inches out, and just keep attaching. And that's our wreath. Pretty simple, pretty easy, but yet I think it's going to look really cute and patriotic at the end. And you can use, I use the fuzzy sticks on these folds, but what you can do is use the zip ties as well. It's up to you. And then for here, I'm just going to bring it back a little bit and go right up to that line again, but keep it so it's all going one way. Let's see. My fuzzy stick bent on me. I'm just kind of keep working. If you are not familiar, I do have a Facebook group called Wreath Creators and More. Check it out. We have a lot of members on there. It's a closed group, but it's for wreath makers and more. So if you do other things with crafting, we'd love to have you in there. Julie from Julie's Wreath Boutique and I, we share that group together. We created it almost 2 years ago in July, and we have now over 80,000 members, which is awesome. There's so much talent in that group. It's amazing. And we love it when people can share their creations. So what we're going to do is just keep attaching to the grid here. I do want to show you right here. I think what we're going to do at the end, when we come on this side, we're just going to attach right to the, we're going to go one square grid in, if that makes sense. If you're looking at a grid, you'll know what I mean. And did I do that on the outside? I did. And then pull down. And then, of course, shape it this way. So we're going to want to do this edge here. So it's all facing that way. Sometimes it helps if you bend at the base. So we're going to just continue on, and once we're done with that, we'll be back and we'll show you how to, or I will show you how to attach the poster board. Okay, so we finished up the mesh. I ended up getting into a second roll of the red and white, so I think there's like 42 cuts of the red and white mesh total. And then I did add the last ruffle. I did 6 total ruffles, so 6 triple ruffles, I should say. I added it right to the end there. This here that's hanging out, I don't like that, so what I'm going to do is just kind of take the outer one that's holding most of it down, like that. And then we're going to take a zip tie, and we're just actually going to push a zip tie underneath a few of these. And it'll come through there, and take a clear zip tie, of course, so you really aren't going to see it. And just pull it through. And you can either connect, pull it down tight or just loosely, just enough so it kind of holds the deco mesh down, like that. You don't want to maybe do it too tight because you don't want it like looking goofy. So I'll cut that off. And then so we have that flowing. You can also, if you don't like this hanging down, zip tie it more through there. But I'm thinking it's looking like a nice flowing flag. And now we're going to attach our backing to it. So you're going to flip it over. And there was no rhyme or reason how I did this, so I did some on the ends and the base, but. And then you're going to take your backing, your poster board, and lay it over. I like to use either a nail or a, let's see, screwdriver. Actually, I've got to take this off. And then I'm just going to punch holes around the board. And then I'm going to attach it with zip ties. And I will get a picture of it hanging on the wall when it's all said and done. But thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. And if you like my teachings, I do have a couple tutorials on my Etsy shop. That's nobletouch.etsy.com. As well, if you like my flowers, I have a ton of patterns for my flowers that I sell on my Etsy shop as well. They're $5.99 a pattern. If you're familiar with my flowers, they will give you exactly, tell you exactly how many cuts of each color that you're going to need, what colors and where to place them on the grid in the frame. So if you're interested in those, just again visit my Etsy shop on nobletouch.etsy.com. Thanks for joining me, and we will be getting a picture of this up on the wall or door shortly. Okay, I just want to jump on quick, show you how I attach the board to the back, and then I'm going to take a fuzzy stick and push it through the zip tie, or zip ties. I put 2 up here on the top, and just kind of wrap it around. Like that. Bring this one tight. And just wrap it around itself. And that could be your little hanger. I'm going to make sure these are tightened down and cut them off. And there's the back. And here's the front, and we're going to go hang it up so you can get a better look.